In a world where humans, elves, half-elves, spirits, demons, witches, and artificial life forms roam, the world itself seems to be alive. It grants gifts to certain individuals, while others defy its order to wield forbidden powers. In this world, people have reservoirs of mana that they can expend to manipulate the elements. Some defy the world, making it their enemy, while others are loved by it, shielded from harm. Certain individuals use curses to keep themselves from dying, their bodies regenerating endlessly, while others are simply not allowed to die. The power system in this world is divided into 4 main components: magic, authorities, divine protections, and curses. Individuals capable of using magic are known as magic users. Magic itself is divided into 6 categories. Each one manipulates a different element, producing unique spells. The series includes many spells, and each usually has a few variants. We'll see how this works in just a second. Those who excel in a specific type can earn a title. For instance, Roswaal is known as Red, meaning that he is the best fire magic user in the kingdom of Lugnica. Within each magic user, there exists a gate. Mana flows through this gate, and with the use of an incantation, a spell can be cast. Different spells, of course, require different incantations. Here we see Petelgeuse using the spell of Uldona to create a barrier of earth. It basically works the same as in Mushoku Tensei for those who have seen it. Like in Mushoku Tensei, people can cast magic without an incantation, but this requires a very skilled magic user. The more difficult the spell, the more an incantation is needed to help the caster focus. Authorities are powers a person gains by absorbing a witch factor. Typically, anyone who wields an authority is known as an archbishop. However, Subaru, despite not being an archbishop of the witch cult, possesses the authority of return by death. The third component of the power system are divine blessings. Individuals with divine blessings are favored by the world, which grants them unique abilities. We'll discuss the significance of this favor in a moment. Generally, the more divine blessings a person has, the more they are embraced by the world. Finally, if someone uses curses as a form of attack, they are referred to as a curse arts user. Curses are primarily wielded by certain creatures and individuals, notably the witch cult and demonic beings like Mavis. The background color of each spell in this tree reflects its usefulness and power level, with a black background denoting spells that are forbidden or exceedingly powerful. Examples of these top-tier powers include soul transcription, spirit creation, and the sacrament of the immortal king. To give a description for each spell, Fula manipulates wind, sharpening it to fire off as an attack or to surround oneself with it. Fula is a wind spell, but it has 3 stronger forms: El Fula, U Fula, and Al Fula. Each variant is more powerful but requires more mana, meaning a person cannot cast Al Fula indefinitely, making battles more strategic. Take Ram, for instance, when she encountered Elsa. If she used Al Fula to attack Elsa and missed, she would have only wasted mana without dealing any damage. In contrast, Ren could use Al Huma on the white whale, a large target, because there's a higher chance for the spell to connect. Another wind spell is the 100 Feld, a specialized spell used by Crusch Karsten. It creates an invisible sword strike within the user's field of view. Huma manipulates temperature, lowering it to solidify molecules and create ice. In our chart, if we show someone using a higher level spell, like for example Al Huma, it indicates that the person can use all the family of spells below that level on the chart. So here, Ram can use all the variants of the Fula spell. When we talk about fire magic, we have to remember that we're referring to spells that manipulate temperature. So, a spell that creates ice would also fall under this category. You can think of magic as science on steroids. Science tells us that high temperatures can create flames, but it also tells us that humans cannot directly manipulate temperature. In this world, however, each person has mana that can be channeled through a gate, converting it into a spell that controls temperature. Let's call this spell Goa, which falls under the category of fire magic. Goa manipulates temperature, but to create fire by increasing the heat. Water is the resource that gives life, and healing magic stems from this element. One of the best healers in the world is Ferris, and we'll discuss why in the Divine Protection section of the video. The Sacrament of the Immortal King is a legendary resurrection spell. Although the original incantation has been lost to history, a replica version still exists. Its success depends entirely on the caster's skill level. Some users can merely restore the body, while others can achieve a temporary revival. However, this spell cannot restore the soul of the deceased. The Donna family of spells manipulates the earth, creating walls, spears, and other forms from the ground. Julius Spells, specializing in light control, are mostly used for fast-paced battles. Light magic focuses on buffs, granting the user enhancements whenever they land a hit on an opponent. In contrast, debuff spells belong to the yin category of magic. The most well-known is Shamak, a spell family that disrupts the target's senses. Shamak is one of the most significant spells in the series, falling under the yin element. Like other elemental spells, it has variants: El Shamak, Ul Shamak, and Al Shamak. However, unlike other basic spells, Shamak also has an Ol variant. We won't reveal what Ol Shamak does or who uses it to avoid major spoilers. The spell Al Shamak was notably used by Beatrice in the series. Al Shamak can transport the target to another dimension. For Beatrice to cast this spell, she used mana she had saved for over 400 years while she remained in the library. Doctor Crossing is another spell used by Beatrice, allowing her to connect different locations through doors. She used this spell to link the library she guarded under Echidna's orders to Roswaal's mansion. Murak is a spell that reduces the effect of gravity, while Vita does the opposite, increasing gravitational pull. Talented magic users have developed ways to combine different elements to create more advanced spells. One of these talented individuals is Julius. Julius is a spirit arts user. Typically, a person channels mana within themselves through their gate to cast a spell, but those with the ability to contract with spirits can use the spirit's gates to cast spells. For example, in Season 1, Subaru exhausted his gate by overusing the Shamak spell, preventing him from performing magic in subsequent seasons. However, after contracting with Beatrice, he was able to cast the Emilia spell. Julius is contracted with 6 spirits. We'll discuss how he contracted these spirits in the Divine Protection section of the video. The spirits are known as Ia, Qua, Arrow, Iku, In, and Nis. Julius keeps each spirit in a respective crystal when they are not materialized. Julius can use each spirit to perform one-tier magic like healing spells. Julius also spent a lot of time developing spells which use a combination of elements like Ulgora, which calls on Aya and Arrow to combine fire and wind to create a powerful magical firestorm. Net is high-level magic that allows people to share senses within an area by connecting their gates. Enhanced Strength calls on In to boost his strength and agility, granting him superhuman abilities for a limited period. All Clarista infuses his sword with the essence of his 6 spirits, giving it the ability to slice through nearly any material. All Clauseria commands his 6 spirits to create a rainbow-colored vortex around him, releasing it as a powerful blast from his sword. All Cranville cloaks Julius in the combined energy of his spirits. Julius gains enhanced speed and physical power. Roswaal, the top mage in the kingdom of Lugnica and disciple of the Witch of Greed, stands out as a true genius. Even 400 years ago, he was already a prodigy under his master Echidna. Over the centuries, he refined his craft, developing an array of spells that showcase his genius. Magic cancellation is a rare skill available only to the most skilled magic users, allowing Roswaal to disrupt other magic users' spells. Cognitive disruption is another powerful spell in Roswaal's arsenal. By casting it on an object, he ensures that anyone who wears it becomes unrecognizable to others. Magic composition rewriting is an advanced technique that lets a user alter a spell's composition, though it requires direct contact with the spell. Twofold magic allows the caster to use two spells at once by channeling them through separate body parts. Such a feat requires immense skill, as the caster must simultaneously cast two distinct spells, almost like having two minds working independently. With threefold magic, Roswaal takes this a step further, casting 3 spells at the same time. Each level adds another spell, with Roswaal able to manage up to 5-fold magic, an ability that few could ever hope to achieve. 6-fold magic is Roswaal's trump card. Mastered over 400 years, it allows him to cast 6 spells simultaneously, unleashing his most powerful and destructive magic. As a half-elf, Emilia naturally possesses a strong affinity for magic, which allows her to harness mana more effectively than most humans. Emilia's unique magical talent, along with her vast mana reservoir, enables her to perform powerful spells beyond the reach of most magic users. Ice Brand Arts. This spell allows her to create and wield ice weapons for close combat. Icicle Line. Emilia surrounds her opponent with ice particles, trapping them and turning the particles into weapons that can strike from every direction. Ice Soldiers. Emilia can summon soldiers crafted from ice, with their strength increasing based on the mana she expends. Ice Flower. Emilia generates ice flowers on the wounds of nearby living beings. These flowers absorb life force from the host, blooming as they draw blood. Absolute Zero. This powerful spell creates a vacuum by freezing the atmosphere to an extreme degree, freezing even time itself within the area, and making escape impossible for anyone caught inside. Following Subaru's contract with Beatrice and their successful defeat of the Great Rabbit, they dedicated a year to training together. Throughout this period, they created 2 powerful spells. An absolute defense magic where Beatrice employs yin magic to manipulate time and space around Subaru. During activation, Subaru is unable to move, but he remains unaffected by any external interference while within the barrier. ENT, or an absolute negation magic, which generates a spherical field centered on Subaru and Beatrice. Within this field, all effects of mana are negated. Now we'll discuss abilities that interfere with the world. Authorities. Authorities are unique abilities wielded by the witches and Sin Archbishop. The difference between authority and magic can be explained like this. With magic, you manipulate the elements of the world, whereas with authorities, you interfere with the world itself. For instance, with fire magic, you control temperature, raising or lowering it to produce fire or ice. However, authorities grant abilities beyond elemental control, such as an unseen hand or the power to erase memories from people's minds. While magic is powerful in its own right, authorities are extraordinarily potent. That said, a skilled magic user can still defeat an authority user. Remember, the strength of a spell depends on the mana a person possesses, which can come from within or from external sources, such as spirit. There is no rule that prevents authority users from using magic, as we see with Petelgeuse, who possesses the ability to use earth magic. However, for a magic user to wield an authority, they must have a witch factor, which only a select few individuals in the entire world possess. There are several different witch factors, each granting a unique ability. The witch factor of sloth is held by Petelgeuse, allowing him to use the authority of sloth. This authority grants him the power of unseen hands. The witch factor of sloth grants a person power that simplifies their life by allowing them not to exert effort. For instance, it provides them with an unseen hand, which they can use for fighting or even completing daily chores. The authority of gluttony is one of the most despised abilities in the world. It's the reason why Rem was forgotten. This authority grants its wielder the power to devour names and memories. By consuming a person's name, they erase that individual's existence from the memories of others, making them effectively forgotten. Meanwhile, devouring memories leaves victims devoid of their experiences and identity. Due to the insatiable nature of this authority, the user is never truly satisfied, as all they consume are names and identities. This is why the Archbishop of Gluttony is depicted as a skinny figure. More on Gluttony's powers in the spoiler section of the video. The witch factor of wrath operates on the belief that a person's true self is revealed in moments of anger. For Sirius, this means that loving someone while in a state of rage is the purest form of love. Her authority, soul marriage, enables her to manipulate the emotions of those around her within a certain radius. This bond links Sirius's emotions to everyone nearby, forcing them to feel whatever she feels. If Sirius is enraged, everyone under her influence will experience an uncontrollable rage, potentially leading to chaos or even violence. Additionally, if she suffers physical injury, everyone linked to her authority shares in the same level of pain. Regulus's powers are still a mystery, at least up to this point in the anime. But from what we've seen, it appears that attacks are unable to touch him. When he speaks, no one may interrupt, and his rights are absolute. Regulus possesses the authority of greed. This authority is connected to greed by embodying an extreme form of possessiveness and selfishness. Others must respect Regulus's rights, but he is under no obligation to reciprocate. His ability isn't about acquiring wealth or material possessions. Instead, it allows him to control his own reality, ensuring that no one can touch or affect him without his consent. We'll discuss his powers in the spoiler section of the video. Lust is associated with desire and craving, often involving a longing to make things conform to one's own wishes. In love, there's a desire for the happiness of the person you love, but with lust, it's a self-serving urge. The Archbishop of Lust wields the authority of lust, which is intricately linked to her witch factor in a manipulative and self-serving way. Her authority allows her to alter the form and appearance of herself and others, reshaping and perfecting them to match her desires. She uses this power to change her appearance at will, often manipulating, deceiving, or tormenting others, and even imposing transformations that reflect her personal whim. Not much is known about the authority of Vainglory, which resides within the Witch of Vainglory, Pandora. She embodies the sin of vanity and self-importance, believing that the world should conform to her wishes. If she thinks someone should not be in a certain place, then that person will not be there. We see Pandora negate her own death because her authority dictates that she must remain. Additionally, she can bury people into the ground instantly, remove individuals without leaving any trace of their actions, and alter people's memories. Like Vainglory, the abilities of the Warlock of Melancholy are also shrouded in mystery. It is strongly speculated that the soul of the Warlock resides within Roswaal. I will put down the reasoning for this in the comment. Later on, and after his teacher Echidna passed away, Roswaal continues his teacher's work, and that leads to the discovery of a method for soul transcription, enabling him to possess his descendant. Presently, Roswaal's soul is within Roswaal and Mathers. Due to the mechanics of soul transcription, Roswaal's soul is passed down through generations, allowing the Warlock to continue moving from one generation to the next. Around 400 years ago, Hector demonstrated the ability to surround himself with an invisible force field capable of crushing both living beings and magic alike. The damage intensifies as he closes the distance with his target, leading to increasingly catastrophic effects. What seems to be passed down from the Witch of Envy, although not 100% confirmed, is the authority of return by death. This authority prevents a soul from returning to Olagna. It is arguably the most powerful authority in the story so far, as it forces the world to reset to a point where Subaru is still alive. You can think of the authority as not preventing Subaru from dying, but rather preventing the world from moving on without Subaru in it. If this authority indeed came from the Witch of Envy, it suggests that her envy is so profound that she reverses time itself when Subaru is no longer in the world. This ability activates only upon Subaru's death, allowing him to return to an unspecified and uncontrollable save point set sometime before his death by an unknown process. There are two more authorities that we are going to take a look at in the spoiler section of the video. Curses are powerful, often malevolent spells or afflictions that can affect individuals, manifesting as physical or psychological ailments. To take effect, a normal curse requires physical contact with either the curse source or the curse host. Once activated, its effects cannot be prevented. However, if it remains unactivated, a curse can be removed by someone capable of doing so. Woolgarm Curse. Cast through the bite of a Woolgarm witch beast, this curse drains mana from the bitten target, absorbing it into the Woolgarm's body and using the target as fuel. Curse, Doll Curse. This curse grants the target powerful regeneration abilities, enabling them to heal powerful injuries. Oath Curse Mark. This type of curse binds a soul, compelling the recipient to honor the oath they swore. Curse of the Dragon Blood. Intertwined with the claimed dragon's blood within Capella Authority Lugunica. This curse causes the victim's life force to diminish upon being struck. As it progresses, black marks begin to appear on their body. Divine protections are unique abilities granted to individuals, loved by the world. These abilities are likely bestowed by the concept of Od Logna, which we previously explained in our ReZero history video. Divine protections may be given at birth, and a few rules govern their distribution. Some divine protections can be shared by multiple individuals. Some divine protections are exclusive to a single person at a time. Certain races have divine protections specific to their members, similar to the Sheringan. Felt possesses an unnamed divine protection, which some speculate is intentionally left ambiguous in the story. Elsa suggests that it is likely related to wind. This divine protection grants Felt the ability to dash ahead at speeds comparable to the blink of an eye. Crushed Karsten's divine protection, wind reading, allows her to sense the wind and see what's invisible, including sensing others' emotions to detect lies. Durability is a divine protection that enhances items worn by its bearer, making them significantly more resistant to damage. Crusch's armor benefits from this protection. Teresia possesses the divine protection of the Sword Saint, which will be addressed in the discussion of Reinhardt. The Death God divine protection ensures that any wound inflicted with its power remains unhealed. Wilhelm was struck by Teresia's sword, and even 40 years later, the wound continues to cause him pain. If Wilhelm or anyone else struck by this divine protection comes close to Teresia, the wound will reopen and worsen. Water is wielded by Ferris. This divine protection enhances the user's affinity for water magic, making them exceptionally skilled in its use. Evaluation is a skill utilized by Russell Fellow and Alec Hoshing, allowing them to assess the quality of items, determining whether they are of good or bad quality. Gathering Spirits, used by Julius Spells, grants him the unique ability to see, converse with, and gain the favor of spirit. Otto Suin's divine protection, soul of language, grants him the unique ability to communicate with all living creatures. Earth spirits, held by Garfeil Tinsel, covers his body in a protective guard of earth whenever his feet are in contact with the ground. Mealy possesses demon manipulation, enabling her to control witch beasts. Triception is used by Mimi Hetaro and Tivy Pearlbaton. This divine protection allows them to share each other's physical and emotional burden. Additionally, it enables the splitting of damage across all users, providing protection from otherwise fatal. Telepathy is used by Liliana Masquerade. This divine protection allows the user to communicate thoughts directly to others telepathically. For an unexplained reason, Reinhard seems to be able to obtain any divine protection he needs. Here, we will list the abilities from least useful to most useful. Salt reasoning ensures the user can always distinguish salt from sugar. Gardening simplifies gardening tasks. Arithmetic provides the user with advanced mathematical problem-solving skills. Riding vehicles allows the operation of any type of vehicle. Riding animals enables the user to ride any kind of animal with ease. Drafts grants an innate sense of escape routes. Training enhances insight into effective training methods for self and others. Doubt alerts the user to nearby ill intentions. Sandplay prevents sinking in sand. Poison nullification neutralizes the effects of any poison. Child Wind grants immunity to illnesses. Panacea provides complete immunity from diseases. Fog ensures clear vision in foggy conditions. Clouds enables the user to walk on clouds. Lightning Cloud shields the user from lightning strikes. The divine protections of blue skies, teary skies, new skies, and night skies enhance the user's strength under specific sky conditions. Handling instantly provides mastery over any item the user holds. Judgment grants the ability to recognize any divine protections held by others. Swift running grants unusually swift movement speed. Lake enables walking on water. Air dashing allows the user to propel themselves through the air with kick. First Sight instinctively reveals how to counter or evade attacks. Initiative guarantees the user's first attack lands. Second Sight enhances reaction speed and precision for attacks experienced multiple times. Unarmed combat strengthens hand-to-hand combat abilities. Anti-magic provides immunity to magical enhancements, impairments, and curse arts. Water drainage, fire avoidance, wind absorption, mud slipping, darkness nullification, and light disentanglement enable the user to nullify the effects of water, fire, wind, earth, yin, and yang magic by up to 80%. All earth dragons and Reinhard Van Astrea possess wind evasion, enabling them to run without any wind resistance. Weapon God instantly provides mastery over any weapon. Projectile evasion diverts the path of thrown weapons. Shedding blood increases the user's strength if he loses blood in battle. The sword, Saint Divine Protection, was previously held by Teresia Van Astrea and is now possessed by Reinhard Van Astrea. Anyone who attains this divine protection becomes the sword saint, inheriting its powers that unlock their maximum martial skill potential. This basically works the same way as Nan's sacrifice from Hunter x Hunter. The divine protection of the Phoenix is perhaps the most overpowered divine protection, allowing Reinhard to revive immediately after death, but only once per instant. Each time he dies and is resurrected, this divine protection is granted to him again, making him nearly invincible. This cycle is why Reinhard is often called the man loved by the world, as the world itself appears to ensure his survival. Although Echidna was one of the greatest magic users of all time, her motivations and abilities remain shrouded in mystery. However, one magnificent spell she developed is All Shario. With this spell, the user summons an unavoidable shooting star that only a select few, such as Reinhardt, can evade. The shooting star has the potential to cause immense destruction. We talked a bit about Regulus's authority called Lion's Heart. Lion's Heart essentially allows him to isolate himself from the passage of time. By halting his own time, his body exists in a state where external forces can't interact with him. Since physical actions and attacks require time to register and work, they won't affect Regulus. Once the attack reaches him, the time for the attack itself would stop. Regulus's other ability is Little King. This ability lets him share Lion's Heart with anyone he considers a subject in his little kingdom, mainly his wives. By merging his heart with theirs, he doesn't need to activate Lion's Heart for his own body, as his wives' bodies act as extensions of his own. We've previously discussed Gluttony's powers of memory and name-devouring, but here we'll explain 3 additional abilities tied to this authority. Lunar Eclipse grants its wielder access to the memories of those affected, as if they have lived those lives. This allows them to absorb and utilize the victim's skills and knowledge. Solar Eclipse enables the user to claim the names of their victims, altering their own appearance to resemble those they've devoured. Astral Eclipse, the advanced form of the Eclipse ability, though its full effects remain unknown. This authority also includes powers of creation and the ability to control witch beasts, as the Witch of Gluttony did when she created May-beasts to prevent hunger. Climbed, a longtime confidant of the original Roswaal, is a mysterious figure who has loyally served the Mathers family for generations. Following the sanctuary events, Roswaal introduced Climbed into the Emilia camp to oversee Subaru's training. Climbed has a mysterious authority that lets him make objects or people disappear completely. Imagine it as if he can erase space around them, causing their body to break apart into nothingness. If there is no space, then there is no matter, as matter needs space to manifest. From this same logic, Climbed can teleport instantly anywhere within the kingdom of Unica, as he can remove the space he occupies and manifest that space elsewhere. There is a restriction in the sense that he should know where the space needs to be placed. All possesses a mysterious authority that manipulates space-time within a designated domain, which he activates by meeting unknown conditions. Within this range, if he or a target dies, time resets to a past moment,